Bored Online, Bored Offline. We're going to finally get to our review of the 2101 game today. As I've said in both of the previous videos, it's not really my style of game to go into what at first glance appears to be a poker style game. I've played a little bit of Texas Hold'em, and that's about it. And I've only played that with friends, never done anything, none of the high stakes stuff. So that's my extent of expertise into this style of game. So as you watch the review, keep in mind that I am not the target audience. So any feelings that I may have about the game are going to be from the viewpoint of someone who is more into these other games you see over here behind me, and who also is not really into your typical poker chips and betting and the 52 card deck and all of that stuff. So, we're going to get right into it now. I actually am doing something for the first time with this review. My previous two reviews didn't have this. We've actually got a chart with a number of different categories. I hope you like what you see. I pretty much spent the entire budget for Bored Online, Bored Offline researching and getting this chart built and set up. It was very fancy. We're very excited about it, and so let's get into it. Okay, so the first of our categories here is we've got originality. As far as this game goes, you know, it uses your standard 52 card deck. Granted, it's going to have two of them in there, minus 3 cards. On top of that, you're using, you know, single cards, pairs, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. But that's about it as far as poker type stuff goes. So it borrows that. However, the method that you're playing them, having basically 3 different hands of cards almost that you use, is something that I haven't seen before. So I thought that in itself was a fairly original concept, and so I gave it a 1 out of possible 2 because I feel like it has some original ideas in there. However, it also borrows heavily from some other places. Moving on to aesthetics, for what this game is supposed to be, it's pretty, you know, I like it a decent amount. I like that the 3 important cards, the ace, the 2, and the 10 of each suit, are marked differently than the rest of the cards, so it kind of pops out to you when you get those cards that are going to be necessary for a 2101. The 10s have that wastebasket on it to remind you that they clear the pile. The 2s have a recycling symbol on it, or I suppose a reset symbol to remind you that it resets the pile. And then the aces have the stars on them. I like that. That being said, it is ultimately just 2 decks of cards. Then the other pieces, the mats that you play on, look nice again for what they are. They serve the purpose. It's nothing spectacular, but at the same time, it's not sub-quality either. So I went ahead and gave that a 1.5 out of 3 for aesthetics. Thrill factor, we're going to be looking at about a 1 out of 3. And the reason for that, again, you got to be looking at it from the point of view of someone that's not going to go and play this game for money, that's not going to be have anything actually on the line when playing this game. I think maybe if you're the type of person that you get a thrill out of putting a little bit of cash on the line, maybe this is going to be higher for you. For me, there wasn't a whole lot there. So, the 1 out of 3 is about where it was. There was a little bit of excitement for me, when I was flipping over the face down cards, not knowing what I was going to get, and then a little bit of added bonus in there when I'm trying to figure out the best card to play from my hand, or even for the face up cards, to try to get as much out of my hand as possible, get as much played as possible, but also try to block out the other player from being able to play cards in their hand. Unfortunately, of course, you don't really have much of a clue as what's in their hand initially, so there's a good bit of guesswork there. However, if they've taken the pile, then you have a much better idea of what they've got going on in their hand. So, opponent quality, I gave this a 2.5 out of 3 because I think that, something about the player mats. I mean, they are essentially glorified mouse pads, but I really like them for what they are. I like the weight of them. I like the feel of them. I think that they work well. Now, do you need the mouse pad or the face up bet, face down bet, any of that stuff, those pads, do you need any of those? No, you don't need any of that for the game. Ultimately, all you need is 2 decks of cards and some poker chips. That's pretty much it. You know, you're not gonna need anything else for the game. If you want to get the other components, you know, if you really like the game and you want that added bit of flair to spruce the game up, I think they're good for that purpose. But just keep in mind you don't need them. But as far as their quality goes, I did give them a 2.5 out of 4. Then as far as gameplay goes, I just gave it a 2 out of 5. This is really going to come down to it's not my type of game. You know, I can see how maybe somebody else who enjoys a game as high in luck as this game is, they may really get a kick out of this game, which is why I went ahead and gave it a 2 instead of a 1 out of 5. But for me, it's just not there. I didn't have any real sense of caring whether or not I won or lost a hand, because I wasn't playing against anybody who was actually going to take my money at the end. So for me, it just didn't quite do it for me. So 2 out of 5 for gameplay. For this game, the skill to luck ratio, if you're more schooled on some of the nuances of betting and bluffing, you know, with poker chips and cash, or how you want to play this game, then I suppose there's a little bit of skill, which is why you can see on this highly technical chart and highly scientific chart, I might add, we put that there's some skill involved, but then the luck is just, I mean, loads of luck. When you can win 21 times the table bet from every player by completely the luck of the draw, there's no way to put it other than that's loads of luck. I mean, let's be real. So you do absolutely nothing and you get a massive windfall. I assume 21 times the table bet is a massive amount of winnings. You know, I don't see how 21 times anything wouldn't be, but maybe it's, I don't know. It seems like a lot for something that's completely luck-based. But then if you do manage to get past that, and nobody's gotten 2101, and granted those are rare, you then move on into the playing of cards, and then there's still a lot of luck in there, but I suppose there is some skill in there, especially with the betting and trying to bluff people out of playing the hand. Learning curve is mostly non-existent. You can teach this game to just about anybody, whether or not they have poker experience, in probably 5 minutes. It really won't take a lot of effort to teach somebody this game. Again, single card, 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. Those are the only anything to do with poker that you really got to know to understand this game. Then it's just a matter of knowing that you play your hand first, then you can play face-up cards, but then if you get cards back in your hand, you got to play them, and then you can play the face-down cards once everything else is gone. So, oh, and going back to the skill of luck, face-down cards, nothing but luck. I mean, you don't even know what they are, so just keep that in mind. If you like luck, that's a great thing. If you want a little bit of skill involved in all your decisions, maybe not so much. So keep that in mind. And the gamer audience is going to be anyone who loves luck in their games, and lots of it, loads of it, is going to love this game. Okay? Or they're going to be a long way towards loving this game, I should say. And anyone who is a fan of poker games, any sort of betting game, looking for a little bit of a twist with the way you play the cards, and also looking for less actual available poker hands, you know, none of the higher end poker hands, the royal flushes, the full house, all that kind of stuff. None of that's here, so you have much fewer to choose from, and a little bit of an interesting way that the cards are going to be played. So that brings my final score for the game to a 47%, which basically means the game is not for me. I think that there's definitely the possibility that there are some people this game's for, but myself, people like me, people who are more into the highly strategic games such as, you know, Wrath of a Charlatan or Dungeon Command Pandemic, games like that are probably not going to enjoy this particular take on card games. Okay, so in conclusion, this game not really for me. It's going to, as you can see on this chart, top 3 all-time favorite games that I've reviewed, it's going to fall to the bottom. We'll see if any other games that I review in the future are able to drop beneath this one. And again, if you think that a highly luck-filled game is your thing, and you like the idea of a little bit of a twist on your standard card play and your standard betting play, give it a shot. It's not not exactly a high barrier for entry as far as cost goes, so you don't have a whole lot to lose there. Check out my rules video. Also, I'll put the website here on the screen right here, as well as in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comments section below. If you like my channel, subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And look me up on BGG. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.